Deep in Russia's most isolated region, where temperatures drop to -50 and darkness rules for months, scientists just made a discovery that's sending shockwaves through the scientific community. In 2024, beneath the melting permafrost of Chukotka, researchers found something that challenges everything we thought we knew about ancient life on Earth. What they unearthed wasn't just frozen in time, it was alive, and it's not alone. Welcome to Chukotka, Russia's final frontier. This place is so remote that it's closer to Alaska than to Moscow. We're talking about a land where polar bears outnumber people, where the ground never fully thaws, and where locals say the Earth itself is waking up. Today, we're diving into 15 terrifying discoveries that have left even the most skeptical scientists scratching their heads. But before we begin, let me warn you, what you're about to learn might keep you up at night. 15. Ancient megafauna. Remains. In 2023, a team of Russian scientists made a discovery that left them speechless. Just 30 feet beneath Chukotka's melting permafrost, they found something impossible: a fully preserved woolly mammoth. But this wasn't just any mammoth. Unlike previous discoveries, this one showed signs of recent cell activity. That's right. Parts of this ancient giant were technically still alive at a cellular level. Dr. Semyon Grigoriev from the Russian Academy of Sciences explains that some of the mammoth's cells contained intact nuclei, complete with DNA that could still be active. But here's where it gets even creepier. Around the mammoth, they found mysterious black liquid that seemed to be preserving the tissue in ways modern science can't explain. Local Chukchi people have legends about a black water that keeps the dead from truly dying. Coincidence? The scientists aren't so sure anymore. 14. Mysterious geological formations. But the mammoth discovery was just the beginning. In late 2024, satellite imagery revealed something that has geologists questioning everything they know about plate tectonics. Hidden in Chukotka's most remote area, they found perfectly symmetrical circles, hundreds of them, each exactly 1 kilometer in diameter. These formations, now called the Chukotka circles, appear to be moving. Yes, you heard that right. Satellite tracking shows these circles shifting about 2 inches every month, always moving in perfect synchronization. NASA's thermal imaging shows these circles are 10 degrees warmer than the surrounding permafrost. And strangest of all, they seem to pulse with heat every 27 days, exactly matching the lunar cycle. Dr. Elena Volkov from Moscow State University says these formations shouldn't be possible according to any known geological process. Even more disturbing? Local reindeer herders refuse to go near them, claiming their ancestors warned of circles in the ground that breathe. Before we reveal our next discovery, tell us in the comments, what do you think is causing these mysterious circles? Could there be a connection between the living mammoth cells and these breathing ground formations? Trust me, what comes next will make you question everything you thought you knew about what lies beneath the permafrost. 13. Unexplained temperature. Anomalies. What scientists discovered next defies all known laws of thermodynamics. In the winter of 2024, research stations across Chukotka recorded something impossible: heat bubbles in the middle of the Arctic winter. We're talking about spots where temperatures suddenly spike to 20 degrees Celsius, 68 degrees Fahrenheit, in areas that should be -50. But here's the truly bizarre part. These heat bubbles appear in perfect hexagonal patterns, like a giant honeycomb beneath the tundra. Dr. Mikhail Petrov from the Arctic Research Institute says these temperature anomalies coincide exactly with where ancient nomadic tribes refused to set up camp, marking these spots on their maps with symbols that roughly translate to dragon's breath. Even more disturbing, when researchers tried to drill into one of these heat spots, their equipment melted. Yes, melted, at depths that should have been frozen solid for millions of years. The readings showed temperatures that would normally be found near the Earth's core, but just 100 feet below the surface. Something down there is generating heat, and nobody can explain what it is. 12. New species. Discoveries. Just when scientists thought Chukotka couldn't get any stranger, local hunters brought them something that sent shockwaves through the biological community. In the areas around these heat bubbles, they're finding creatures that shouldn't exist. Imagine a spider the size of your hand, but here's the catch: it glows in the dark and seems to be immune to extreme cold. DNA analysis shows these arachnids share genetic markers with species that went extinct 300 million years ago. But that's not even the creepiest part. These spiders appear to be social, building massive underground colonies that align perfectly with those mysterious geometric circles we mentioned earlier. And they're not alone. Researchers have documented over 30 new species in the past year alone, all showing the same impossible characteristics: bioluminescence, extreme heat tolerance, and genetic links to long-extinct creatures. Dr. Sarah Chen from Cambridge University puts it simply, it's as if we're finding living fossils, but they've evolved in ways that our current understanding of evolution can't explain. These creatures shouldn't be able to exist, and yet, here they are. Now, I have a question for you. If these creatures survived from ancient times, what else might be down there, waiting to be discovered? Stay tuned, because what scientists found next makes these discoveries look ordinary in comparison. And don't forget to hit that like button if you're as fascinated by these mysteries as we are. 11. Permafrost. Secrets. While investigating those heat anomalies we told you about, scientists stumbled upon something that made international headlines. In 2024, a research team drilling through Chukotka's permafrost found what they thought was a frozen time capsule. But this was no ordinary ice core sample. Inside, they discovered microscopic organisms that have been dormant for over 50 million years. Here's where it gets terrifying. When exposed to modern air, these ancient microbes didn't just survive. They started multiplying at an impossible rate. Within hours, the lab samples showed these organisms were consuming modern bacteria, absorbing their DNA, and evolving right before the scientists' eyes. The Russian government immediately quarantined the research facility, but rumors say 3 researchers came down with an unknown illness that made their blood glow under UV light, just like those mysterious spiders we mentioned earlier. Dr. Viktor Smirnov from the Moscow Institute of Virology warns that as Chukotka's permafrost continues to thaw, we might be unlocking a Pandora's box of ancient organisms that our immune systems have never encountered. Even more disturbing, local shamans have ancient songs about sleeping lights beneath the ice that hunger for warm blood. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? 10. Underground structures. But ancient microbes aren't the only things waking up beneath Chukotka's melting permafrost. In late 2024, ground-penetrating radar revealed something that challenged everything we know about human history. Hidden 300 feet below the surface, scientists found a massive network of tunnels, perfectly geometric, with walls smoother than modern concrete. These tunnels form an intricate grid spanning over 50 miles, all connecting to a central chamber that's larger than New York's Grand Central Station. Here's the impossible part. The dating shows these structures are over 100,000 years old, predating any known human civilization. But wait, it gets weirder. The walls are made of an unknown metal alloy that maintains a constant temperature of 20 degrees Celsius, regardless of the surrounding permafrost. And those mysterious heat bubbles we mentioned earlier, they align perfectly with the tunnel intersections. Dr. Elena Kuznetsova from the Russian Archaeological Institute was quoted saying, "This isn't just advanced technology. It's technology we can't even understand. Whoever, or whatever, built this had capabilities far beyond our own." Before we reveal our next mind-bending discovery, it's time for a quick favor. If you're as amazed by these discoveries as we are, hit that subscribe button right now. We've got new videos coming about even more mysterious findings from around the world. And trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Deal? Now, let's dive into something truly unprecedented. Let me develop sections 9 and 8, building on our previous reveals while deepening the mystery. 9. Radiation. Anomalies. In early 2025, something started interfering with satellite communications over Chukotka. When NASA investigated, they found radiation patterns that made absolutely no sense. We're talking about beams of radiation shooting straight up from the ground into space, forming what scientists now call the Chukotka Lighthouse. But unlike any radiation we've ever seen, this energy signature matches no known element on Earth. Even stranger, these beams pulse in perfect synchronization with those underground tunnels we just told you about. Russian physicist Dr. Andrei Volkov made a shocking discovery when he analyzed the data. The radiation's frequency exactly matches the mathematical sequence found in the WOW signal, that mysterious radio burst from space detected in 1977. Coincidence? Here's what makes scientists lose sleep. The radiation levels are gradually increasing, doubling every month. But instead of killing nearby plants and animals, it's causing them to mutate in ways that should be impossible. Local farmers have reported glowing vegetables and two-headed deer appearing near the radiation zones. The Russian military has now declared a no-fly zone over the area, but satellite images show they're building something massive around these radiation beams. 8. Indigenous knowledge. While modern scientists scramble to explain these phenomena, the indigenous Chukchi people just nod knowingly. Their ancient legends speak of a time when sky people lived in their land, building paths of light into the heavens. But here's where it gets really interesting. Archaeological teams recently discovered cave paintings in the region that are over 50,000 years old. These paintings show exactly what we're seeing today. The geometric circles, the underground tunnels, even the radiation beams reaching into the sky. Dr. Maria Ivanova, an expert in ancient languages, made a breakthrough in translating the symbols around these paintings. According to her research, they tell of a civilization that slept beneath the ice, waiting for the right moment to wake up. The translations mention a specific time window, and if Dr. Ivanova's calculations are correct, that window began in 2024. But the most chilling part? The Chukchi elders have a prophecy passed down through generations. When the ground warms and the ancient ones wake, they will call to their brothers in the stars. Now, with these unexplained radiation beams shooting into space, even skeptical scientists are starting to wonder, could these ancient stories be more than just legends? Stop for a moment and think about this. If these indigenous prophecies are already coming true, what else did they predict? Share your theories in the comments below. And trust me, you'll want to stick around for what comes next, because what scientists discovered in the depths of those tunnels will make you question everything you thought you knew about human history. Let me develop sections 7 and 6, maintaining our escalating sense of mystery while connecting to previous revelations. 7. Climate change effects. The mysteries of Chukotka just keep getting deeper. Throughout 2024, climate scientists recorded something unprecedented. The permafrost isn't just melting, it's melting in impossible patterns. Imagine a giant hand drawing perfect circles in the ice from below. But here's what's keeping scientists up at night. The melting is happening from the bottom up, not the top down. Dr. James Chen from the International Climate Research Center explains it this way. It's as if something underneath is generating heat deliberately, creating precise geometric patterns we've never seen in nature. Remember those ancient tunnels? Each melting pattern appears directly above them, forming what satellites call the Chukotka grid. Local temperatures in these grid points have skyrocketed by 30 degrees in just months. But instead of destroying the ecosystem, these changes are transforming it. Plants near the grid points have started developing metallic properties in their leaves. Yes, you heard that right? Metal-infused plants. Some specimens are even conducting electricity, creating natural networks that pulse with energy and rhythm, with those radiation beams we mentioned earlier. It's as if the landscape itself is being redesigned by something we don't understand. 6. Magnetic field disturbances. In December 2024, every compass in Chukotka started spinning wildly. At first, scientists blamed solar flares, but then they discovered something that defies explanation. The region's magnetic field isn't just disturbed, it's being manipulated. NASA's magnetometers detected what they call magnetic vortexes, forming perfect spiral patterns above those underground structures. These vortexes are so powerful, they're affecting satellite orbits and creating aurora-like lights even on clear, sunny days. But here's the truly bizarre part. These magnetic disturbances seem intelligent. They respond to radio signals, changing patterns when scientists attempt to study them. Dr. Elena Petrova from the Russian Space Agency made an astonishing discovery. The magnetic patterns contain repeating sequences that match mathematical prime numbers. This isn't random, she says. Something or someone is using Earth's magnetic field to communicate. And it gets even stranger. Those glowing spiders we mentioned earlier, they're congregating around the magnetic vortexes, building massive geometric webs that exactly mirror the patterns in the magnetic field. Local Chukchi elders say their ancestors spoke of a time when the sky's lights would dance again, calling the ancient ones home. With these magnetic anomalies growing stronger each day, even hardcore skeptics are wondering, what exactly is being called home? If you're starting to see connections between all these discoveries, you're not alone. But hold on to your seats, because what scientists found next changes everything we thought we knew about Earth's history. Before we continue, take a moment to hit that like button if these revelations are blowing your mind as much as they're blowing ours. And get ready, because the top 5 discoveries are about to take us into territory that even the most experienced researchers weren't prepared for. Let me develop sections 5 and 4, continuing to build our narrative tension while connecting all our previous revelations. 5. Archaeological discoveries. Just when scientists thought Chukotka couldn't get any stranger, a routine excavation in mid-2024 uncovered something impossible. While investigating one of those magnetic vortexes we mentioned, archaeologists found what appeared to be a library, but not one made of books. Instead, they discovered thousands of crystalline structures arranged in precise geometric patterns. Dr. Natasha Ivanov from Moscow State University made a groundbreaking discovery. These crystals store information, just like modern computer hard drives. But here's what's keeping the world's top scientists awake at night. When exposed to those mysterious radiation beams we discussed earlier, the crystals project holographic images showing advanced technology that shouldn't have existed hundreds of thousands of years ago. One crystal showed detailed blueprints of those underground tunnels, while another displayed star maps of solar systems we haven't even discovered yet. But the most chilling discovery came when they found a crystal that seemed to be counting down to something. According to Dr. Ivanov's calculations, this countdown will reach 0 in exactly 1 year. Even more disturbing, the crystal's energy signature perfectly matches those glowing spiders' bioluminescence. 4. Biological anomalies. In early 2025, biologists studying wildlife near those heat bubbles noticed something that challenges everything we know about evolution. Animals in the region aren't just adapting to the changes, they're transforming in ways that should be genetically impossible. Remember those metallic plants? Now researchers have found rabbits with naturally occurring metal-infused bones, making them virtually indestructible. But that's just the beginning. Dr. Sarah Williams from Cambridge University documented wolves developing what appears to be a hive mind, moving in perfect synchronization with those magnetic field patterns. Most shocking of all, they discovered a new species of Arctic fox with brain activity that matches human patterns. These foxes have been observed solving complex puzzles and even attempting to communicate through those crystal structures we just told you about. Local hunters report finding entire packs of these intelligent foxes gathered around the radiation beams at night, their eyes glowing with the same frequency as the mysterious underground lights. When researchers analyzed their DNA, they found something inexplicable: strands of genetic code that don't match anything in Earth's biological database. Dr. Williams's conclusion? These aren't natural mutations. Something is deliberately reprogramming the local ecosystem. Now, I need you to pause for a moment and think about this. If something is intelligent enough to rewrite DNA itself, what exactly are we dealing with here? And more importantly, what's going to happen when that crystal countdown reaches 0? Stay with us, because our top 3 discoveries will reveal connections that will make you question everything you thought you knew about our planet's history. And trust me, you won't want to miss what the Russian government has been trying to keep secret about discovery number 1. 3. Atmospheric phenomena. The winter of 2025 brought something that made international news. Chukotka's sky started changing color. Not just the usual northern lights, but something entirely different. The atmosphere above those radiation beams began forming what scientists call dimensional windows, areas where the sky literally becomes transparent, revealing what appears to be another space behind our own. NASA's satellites captured images of massive objects moving behind these windows, objects that disappear whenever detection equipment is pointed directly at them. But here's the terrifying part. These atmospheric holes perfectly match ancient cave drawings found in those underground tunnels, drawings that appear to show a great crossing. Dr. Yuri Petrov from the Russian Academy of Sciences made a chilling discovery when analyzing the air around these windows. It contains oxygen isotopes that can only be formed in zero gravity. Whatever's happening in our sky, he says, isn't originating on Earth. 2. Environmental changes. By early 2025, the changes in Chukotka became impossible to hide. Remember those evolved animals we mentioned? They're all moving in the same direction, gathering around what scientists have dubbed the Nexus, a massive underground chamber where all those geometric tunnels converge. Thermal imaging shows this chamber is rapidly heating up, and those crystal countdown timers are all synchronized with its energy pulses. But what really has experts worried is what they found at the center of this chamber. A perfectly preserved pyramidal structure made of a material that doesn't exist on Earth. This structure is emanating energy patterns identical to the mysterious "wow" signal, but in reverse, as if it's responding. Dr. Elena Volkova from the Moscow Institute of Physics says, "It's not just a beacon, it's a door, and something on the other side is about to open it." 1. The final discovery. Everything we've shared leads to this moment, the discovery that the Russian government tried to keep secret until a whistleblower leaked it in January 2025. Deep beneath Chukotka, inside that pyramidal structure, scientists found what they're calling the archive, a vast database of crystalline records that appears to tell Earth's true history. According to Dr. Igor Sokolov, the lead researcher who decoded the first fragments, our planet has been part of an ancient experiment, a genetic library created by an advanced civilization that's been dormant for millions of years. Those geometric patterns, they're not just designs, they're part of a reactivation sequence. The evolved animals, they're not mutations, but planned adaptations. The radiation beams, a signal home. The crystal countdown isn't just measuring time, it's counting down to what the archive calls the convergence. And according to these records, it's happened before. The last time was during the age of the dinosaurs. Dr. Sokolov's team made one final, terrifying discovery just last week. The archive contains a message, and it's addressed to humanity. It reads, "The library is complete. The specimens have evolved as planned. Preparation for convergence, 99% complete." The implications of these discoveries are staggering. What happens when that countdown reaches zero? What does this convergence mean for humanity? Scientists around the world are racing against time to decode more of the archive's messages, but with each answer come more terrifying questions. If you want to stay updated on this developing story, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications. Leave your theories in the comments below. What do you think these discoveries mean for our future? This is just the beginning of our investigation into Earth's hidden mysteries. See you in the next video, if the convergence doesn't happen first.